There was a poor girl named Elara who was incredibly beautiful. She found herself working all alone in a desolate, abandoned manor. In that manor lived a spirit who had been waiting for hundreds of years, searching for a beautiful girl. The spirit, whose name was Kael, tried to tempt Elara with wealth and, in his love for her, he began to forget everything else. What he did to that innocent girl will send shivers down your spine. This is the story of Elara, living in an old cottage in the village of Cinderfall. Her life was no fairy tale. She had an innocent face and a light in her eyes, but her circumstances had stolen her smile. Every single day was a struggle, caring for her sick mother, facing empty pots, living under a broken roof, all while trying to keep a small flame of hope alive in her heart. Elara's mother, Lena, was a kind-hearted woman, but she had been bedridden and sick for the last 4 years. Her body was frail, there was no money for medicine, and no close relatives ever came to help. They had no source of income, and many nights were spent on an empty stomach. But Elara never once complained to the Creator. Every morning, Elara would wake up at the first light of dawn. She would bow down in prayer on her old prayer mat, and then read from her holy book. In her prayers, she had only one request. "Oh, Creator, please heal my mother and grant us a source of honest livelihood." Many people in the village tried to guide her down the wrong path. Some tempted her with marriage proposals, while others offered to make her a servant. But Elara always gave the same answer. "Whatever the Creator has written for me is what's best. I will not sell my patience." Then one day, an old woman from the village told her about a deserted manor at the edge of the forest. No one had stayed there for years. The owners now lived in the city and needed someone to work there, promising good pay for the hard work. Elara looked into her mother's eyes and saw the weakness, the pain, and the helplessness. She made her decision. Even if a demon himself lives in that manor, she thought, I will go with the word of the Creator and my faith. She asked for her mother's permission, packed 2 pieces of bread and a small holy book into her bag, and set off on a path that was about to become the greatest test of her patience and her faith. The manor Elara was heading towards was called Blackwood Manor. It once belonged to a wealthy landowner, Lord Arion. About 100 years ago, this manor was the grandest building in the entire village, with marble walls, massive chandeliers, lush gardens, and beautiful fountains. Lord Arion was very rich, but he had only one child, a daughter named Seraphina. They say Seraphina was breathtakingly beautiful, but also incredibly arrogant. One day, her marriage was arranged to a kind but poor young man, whom she despised. That very night, Seraphina locked herself in the highest room of the manor. The next morning, her body was found hanging from the chandelier. The strangest part was the angry frown etched onto her face, as if she was still filled with hatred, even in death. After that, strange things began to happen in the manor. Servants started disappearing. Some went mad. Others were found wandering and muttering to themselves in the forest. The village elders say that someone had used dark arts to trap ancient spirits within the manor's walls, and now they roam free. Many people claim to hear a girl crying from inside the manor at night. Some even said they saw a woman in a white dress looking out from the windows. The village children were terrified of going near the manor, and the adults would just offer a prayer from a distance as they passed by. It was said that whoever went to work there never lasted long. Some left out of fear, while others vanished forever. But when Elara heard all of this, she said only one thing: if this manor belongs to spirits, then my Creator is also the Creator of all. And with this firm belief, she stepped through the gates of the manor, where time was hidden in the cracks of the walls, and the echoes of Seraphina's complaints still lingered in the air. The unseen shadow living within the walls of Blackwood Manor was no ordinary spirit. His name was Kael, and he was one of the Ether-born, neither fully a spirit nor fully human. He belonged to a spiritual class of beings who were once devout worshippers, as pure as angels. His connection with the Creator was deep, and he was once destined for the heavens. But hundreds of years ago, a single test broke him. Kael fell in spiritual love with a human girl. He was so lost in that love that when the girl married someone else, Kael complained to his Creator. "You put this love in my heart," he argued. "So why did you take her away from me?" This complaint stripped him of his spiritual purity and dragged him to the edge of darkness, where he was consumed by worldly love, much like the adversary. In his agony, he came to the manor, where the walls were already filled with dark energy from Seraphina's hatred and cursed death. There, Kael wandered alone for years, a soul broken in the name of love. When Elara first entered the manor, her voice, her recitation from the holy book, and her patience felt like a soothing balm to Kael's broken existence. He would watch her secretly every day, when she prayed for her mother, when she whispered verses while sweeping, and when she cried while making her nightly prayers. For Kael, this wasn't just any girl. His love wasn't physical. It was filling the empty part of his soul that had been lonely for centuries. But for a spirit to love a human, especially a devoted servant of the Creator, was this love pure, or was it the beginning of another sin? Kael was trapped in this confusion. This time, however, he was ready to cross any line to get the love he craved, not for Elara's sake, but to feel whole again. And so began a journey where the lines between love and creation started to blur. Elara had only been at Blackwood Manor for a few days, but Kael's obsession was growing stronger with each passing moment. He watched her constantly, staying near her but always remaining invisible. His way of showing his love was strange. He didn't want to scare her. He wanted to win her over with comfort and temptation. One night, as Elara was crying because she had no money to buy her mother's medicine, a cupboard door swung open on its own. A small bag fell to the floor. Inside were gold coins. Elara froze. She knew this was no human act. Terrified, she began reciting from her holy book, but the coins remained right where they were. That same night, a voice came to her in a dream. "This is for you, Elara. I just need you to say yes. You and your mother will never have to suffer again." Elara's eyes shot open, and she immediately bowed down in prayer. "Oh, my Creator, the patience and honor you have given me are enough. I don't need protection from some unseen creature. I need your help, not a favor from a spirit." The next day, the manor's walls were filled with a beautiful fragrance. Silk sheets appeared on her bed, roses were on the table, and her mother's medicines had arrived on their own. Elara removed it all. She recited a chapter of protection from her holy book and said firmly, "If this is a work of some hidden creature, then listen carefully. I am a servant of the Creator and no one else." This was the first time Kael had been rejected by a human with such patience, faith, and self-respect. He was furious, but the power of Elara's prayers forced him to retreat. That night, Elara placed a hand on her mother's feet and prayed, "O Creator, you are the helper of the poor. You are my Creator and my mother's Creator. If you wish it, you can solve my problems without the help of any spirit or human." The next morning, a kind man from the village, Master Elian, suddenly arrived at the manor. "Daughter," he said, "I felt a strange pull in my heart, as if a pure soul needed help." Tears welled up in Elara's eyes. Kael was watching, and now his love faced a new challenge, Elara's unbreakable faith in the Creator. When Master Elian arrived, Elara told him everything: the bag of gold, the voice in her dreams, the silk sheets, and the medicine. Master Elian took a deep breath and said, "Daughter Elara, the test you are going through is not just yours. It is the story of every believer who doesn't understand the true meaning of complete trust. Remember, whoever trusts in the Creator is sufficient for them." He explained that true trust wasn't just about praying, but about believing with all your heart that help will come only from the Creator, often from where you least expect it. Elara nodded, tears streaming down her face. Master Elian also taught her how to protect herself from evil whispers. Whenever you feel an unfamiliar presence or temptation, recite a prayer of refuge in the Great Deceiver, and then recite the 2 chapters of Sheltering Light. These 2 chapters protect you from all evil. He gave Elara a small string of prayer beads and said, "Whenever you feel afraid, chant the names of Protector and the Majestic. The Creator's protection will become a shield all around you." "But Master Elian," Elara asked, "do spirits really exist? Can they harm us humans?" Master Elian smiled. "Yes, the existence of spirits is proven in the holy texts. The great prophet also preached to them. But the spirits who follow the path of darkness mislead humans with whispers and deception." He then shared a saying, Darkness flows through the veins of human like blood, but the remembrance of Creator casts it out. From that day on, Elara began reciting the chapter of protection in every room of the manor. Kael heard it all every day. His heart burned, but strangely, he also felt a sense of peace. For the first time, he realized that to win Elara's love, he didn't have to fight her Creator. He had to understand her Creator. With Elara's constant rejections and her seeking refuge in the name of the Creator, Kael's love slowly started to turn into pain, and then into obsession. At first, he just felt peace being around her. Now, he felt insulted by her every action. I wanted to give her everything, he thought bitterly. Wealth, comfort, even a cure for her mother, and she rejected me, all because I am a spirit.